Hey, welcome back to ScreenCrush. I'm Colton Ogburn, and this is everything you need to know before watching Squid Game Season 3. Ji-hun, an absent father and compulsive gambler who lives with his mother and has some massive debts due to some dangerous people, and who is also faced with his daughter and ex-wife moving to the States with her new boyfriend, finds himself in a train station down on his luck. He is then approached by a man who invites him to play in the Squid Games for a grand prize. When Ji-hun is picked up to attend the games, he is hit with knockout gas. He then wakes up in a large room filled with bunk beds and other players. Each player is wearing a green jumpsuit with a number on them. Ji-hun is number 456, the final player. The staff guards then arrive wearing pink jumpsuits and masks with shapes on them. Squares, triangles, and circles distinguishing rank, with squares being at the top and circles being at the bottom, but they all work under the Frontman. Ji-hun makes friends with an old man, player 1. He is suffering from a brain tumor that impairs his memory. Ji-hun sees two other players that he recognizes from the outside world, Sang-woo, a friend from his childhood, as well as player 67, a pickpocket that he encountered earlier when he was fleeing from a debt collector and who stole his gambling winnings. We are then introduced to the first game, Red Light, Green Light. Anyone who is caught moving by this giant robot doll while the light is red is shot dead. Many of the players freak out and they run for the door, and they are all killed. The remaining players continue the game, and the old man in particular seems to be having a great time. Once the game is complete and the players return to the holding room, there is mass hysteria and many players demand to be released and sent back home. A vote is held amongst the players, and by a single vote margin, the players are released from the games. Ji-hun goes to the police to report what just happened, but no one believes him. We then meet Detective Jun-ho, who overhears these claims and believes them because his brother has been missing and received the same card that Ji-hun brought to the police. Soon, the players are invited once more to resume the games. Many of them return because they are so desperately in need of money. Ji-hun, despite voting to end the games, decides to rejoin because his mother is in need of surgery. Player 1 also decides to re-enter because he is dying and has nothing else to lose. Player 67, Sae-byok, re-enters because she is trying to get her family out of North Korea. And Sang-woo re-enters because he is about to be arrested for fraud. Next, we see Jun-ho sneak his way onto the boat that transports the players to the secluded island where the games occur. Once the players awake in the dormitory, we see alliances begin to form. As cookies break throughout the room, many players are shot, but Ji-hun figures out a way to win by licking the honeycomb from behind and dissolving the layers. Back in the dormitory, Deok-soo kills a fellow player, and when this happens, we see the prize money increase just like it does when a player dies in the games. Not only do the guards do nothing to stop the players from killing one another, but they're essentially encouraging it. The third game is then Tug of War. On their way up the elevator, the old man informs Ji-hun and their team of a strategy to win despite them being the physically weaker team. Back with Jun-ho in his investigation, he discovers that his brother was the winner of the previous games. We are then introduced to the fourth game, Marbles. Ji-hun and the old man pair up for this game, not knowing that they were going to have to play against one another. Ji-hun, despite his admiration and respect for the old man, decides to exploit his dementia. It is then revealed that the old man was aware that Ji-hun was cheating him the whole time.
자네가 날 속이고 내 굿을 가져간 건
We then see the old man killed, or so we think. We then have the arrival of the VIPs, wealthy men who have been watching the games for entertainment remotely and who are now there to watch the games live and in person. We then see the players ushered in for the fifth game. We see a series of mannequins with vests numbered 1 through 16. Ji-hun takes a long time to decide which vest he will take, and he winds up having to take the last vest, vest 16. But this works to his advantage because the game is Glass Bridge. Player 17 turns out to be a glass worker, and he can tell the difference between the sturdy panels and the breakable panels. But the frontman catches on quickly and he shuts off the lights. As 17 refuses to move forward, Sang-woo pushes him and he hits the breakable panel and falls to his death. This was the final breakable panel, allowing now for Sangwoo, Ji-hun, and Se-byuk to clear the bridge. The panels then explode, sending glass flying, and a shard of glass hits Se-byuk in her side. The 3 finalists are invited to a formal dinner, and after they eat and their plates are taken away, the guards leave behind a steak knife with each player to take back with them to the dormitory. Ji-hun floats the idea to Se-byuk of them teaming up to take down Sangwoo. Se-byuk, who is succumbing to her fatal wound, asks Ji-hun to promise that if he wins the games that he will take care of her family, and she convinces Ji-hun not to kill Sangwoo in the dormitory. Now, when Ji-hun realizes that Se-byuk is injured, he calls for help, and while at the door begging for help, Sangwoo makes his way over to Se-byuk and he kills her. Ji-hun then attempts to attack Sangwoo, but he is stopped by the guards because they need their final 2 players for the final game. Elsewhere, Jun-ho has escaped the facility, but he is tracked down by the frontman and his henchmen. The frontman then reveals to Jun-ho that he is in fact his missing brother.
형, 가자.
The frontman attempts to recruit his brother, but Jun-ho refuses, so the frontman shoots him and Jun falls off the cliff into the ocean. We then enter the final game, the Squid Game.
There it is! There it is!
Ji-hun bests his old friend Sangwoo after having battled nearly to the death. Ji-hun has the opportunity to kill Sangwoo, but he refuses. He then begs his old friend to join him in calling for the games to end, and both of them would walk away with nothing. Sangwoo refuses and stabs himself in the neck and asks Ji-hun to use the prize money that he is about to go home with to help take care of Sangwoo's mother. Ji-hun is returned home and he is bestowed with a debit card which houses his massive winnings. Winnings that he viewed as blood money. Ji-hun then learns that while he was gone, his mother passed away. 1 year passes and Ji-hun receives an invitation to meet with a mysterious figure behind the games. This individual is revealed to be none other than player 1, the old man.
당신이 안 치십니까?
The old man explains that he crafted the games as entertainment for the wealthy. He selected the games that he himself played as a young boy. After a tense back and forth between Ji-hun and the old man, we see the two enter into a wager that no one will help the freezing unhoused person that we see sitting on the sidewalk below. Just before the clock strikes 12, a good Samaritan does return with help for the man, reinvigorating Ji-hun's faith in humanity and in himself, but the old man dies just before witnessing this outcome. So he dies thinking that he was right. Ji-hun goes on to keep his promise to Se-byuk and he rescues her brother. And he asks Sangwoo's mother to look after the boy while he travels to the US to see his daughter. He also leaves him with a suitcase full of cash, fulfilling the dying wish of Sangwoo that his mother would be taken care of. As Ji-hun walks through the airport, he sees the same man who recruited him to the games playing the slapping game with another person, recruiting them for the next game. Ji-hun runs to intervene, but the man is gone by the time he arrives at the other platform. Ji-hun is only able to retrieve the card with the phone number for the games. On the phone, the frontman tells Ji-hun to get on the plane and leave the country, go see his daughter, but Ji-hun refuses and goes back to the terminal, now on a mission to bring down the Squid Games. Now knowing that he is under surveillance, Ji-hun removes a tracking device from behind his ear. Meanwhile, Jun-ho, who survived his fall from the cliff and is recovering thanks to a shrimp boat captain named Park. 2 years pass and Ji-hun, who is now living as a paranoid minimalist in a fortified hotel, and he hires his former loan shark, Mr. Kim, and Kim's associate, Woo-seok, to track down the recruiter. Jun-ho also continues his search for the island where the games take place. Kim and Woo-seok eventually locate the recruiter, who runs a twisted test on the homeless by offering them either a loaf of bread or a lottery ticket. Most choose the lottery ticket, and the uneaten bread is then theatrically discarded. The recruiter then kidnaps Kim and Woo-seok and forces them into a deadly hybrid of rock, paper, scissors and Russian roulette.
너무 긴장하실 거 없습니다. 말씀드렸듯이 살 확률이 6분의 5나 되니까요.
Jun-ho then tracks down Ji-hun, and we see Ji-hun confront the recruiter in his hotel, and he learns that he was once a soldier in the games who killed his own father. The recruiter then challenges Ji-hun to a final round of Russian roulette, and he ends up dead by his own hand. Using a clue from the recruiter, Ji-hun, Jun-ho, and Woo-seok follow a lead to an elaborate Halloween party where elite figures associated with the games are rumored to appear. Woo-seok hires a mercenary team for protection, while Ji-hun takes a bold step in planting a tracker inside his own body. Jun-ho, keep in mind, is still hiding the fact that his brother In-ho is the frontman. Next we see Ji-hun continue to support Sang-woo's grieving mother and the young brother of Se-byuk that he rescued from the orphanage as promised. At the party, Ji-hun is escorted by a pink-suited soldier into a limo, and there he speaks with the frontman over a speaker. We then see their cars attacked, and amid the chaos, Ji-hun offers himself up to re-enter the games voluntarily. We then meet Kang-yuel, a defector desperate to reunite with her daughter, and she is recruited as a soldier in the games. Ji-hun wakes up back in the dormitory, this time joined by 455 players. And we are introduced to a new clause in the game. After each game, the players can now vote if they would like to end the games. If the majority agrees, the prize money is split among all living players. Jun-ho and his team lose the signal from Ji-hun's implanted tracker. Ji-hun quickly recognizes player number 390 as Jung-bae, a former co-worker and friend. The first game is a familiar one, red light, green light, and thanks to Ji-hun's warnings, casualties are lower than the first time around. A rapper named Thanos, high on drugs, pushes others forward to get them killed.
Bowed you no choke, I'm a legend, Thanos.
Ji-hun and a player named Hyun-jo try to save a wounded player, only for No-yul, now a soldier, to coldly finish the player off. Afterward, a vote is held on whether or not they want to continue the games, and we see In-ho, the frontman, disguised as player 1, casts the deciding vote, and he opts to continue the games. In-ho pretends to ally with Ji-hun, offering a half-true backstory to gain his trust. Player 333 is attacked by Thanos, but In-ho steps in and halts the violence with ease. Player 222, Jun-hee, Myung-ji's pregnant ex-girlfriend, is revealed to also be in the games. Now, behind the scenes, a soldier faction led by a masked officer is harvesting organs from the dead. No-yul is told to ignore it, but she refuses and begins to sabotage the trade by executing the marked but still living victims. We are then introduced to the second game. Players form 5-member teams, and they must complete 5 traditional Korean children's games, all while tied together. And they must complete the games all within 5 minutes. Hyun-jo's team survives by relying on mutual trust and support, and this inspires others. Ji-hun teams up with Jung-bae, Jun-hee, In-ho, and Dae-ho, and their team succeeds and bonds afterwards by exchanging their names. No-yul is then targeted by soldiers involved in the organ trade who threaten her to stop interfering. During the post-game vote, In-ho publicly encourages players to vote X, which is to end the games, but the majority still choose to continue by voting O. We then see Ji-hun begin to question his mission, confiding in Jung-bae about his fear that he might not be able to save everyone. Meanwhile, we see Jun-ho and Woo-seok expand their mercenary group and continue to hunt for Ji-hun and the island. We are then introduced to the next game, Mingle. Many players find it challenging to form proper groups, and they are eliminated. And in the final round, Jung-bae watches in horror as In-ho murders another player to secure a room. Afterward, Ji-hun and In-ho argue about stopping the games, but they avoid fighting. Another vote is then held, and it ends in a tie. The players are then given 24 hours before a revote will be held. Thanos and Nam-gyo pressure Min-soo into switching his vote. Myung-ji and the other ex-players then defend him, and a brawl breaks out. We see Thanos strangle Myung-ji, who stabs him fatally with a fork. Back with Jun-ho and his team, we see them discover an island entrance, but it's a decoy rigged with explosives. Jun-ho's team then suffers another betrayal. Captain Park, who saved Jun-ho years ago, is revealed to be a double agent. We see him sabotage their drone, and he kills the pilot. Back at the games, the lines blur between ally and enemy as players learn that they can kill others outside of the games to then thin the herd and increase the prize money. Ji-hun warns of a potential purge by the O players, and he encourages his small group amongst the X voters to stay hidden when this chaos takes place. His prediction comes true and violence erupts. Ji-hun's group survives this massacre, and when the soldiers arrive, they ambush and kill all of the soldiers but one, and they take the guns and begin a rebellion. Their escape plan then falters as they are pinned down by more soldiers. Dae-ho, tasked with getting more ammo, experiences a panic attack, and he fails to return. In-ho then betrays the rebellion, kills 2 allies, fakes his death, and resurfaces as the masked frontman. And then in a chilling final scene, he executes Jung-bae right in front of a devastated Ji-hun. And that is where Season 2 ends, and we have now given you everything you need to know before going into Squid Game Season 3. Cannot wait to break down this new season for you guys. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, smash that bell so you get alerted every time we upload a new video. For ScreenCrush, I'm Colton Ogburn.